What's up, everybody? This is Russell Brunson, and welcome to the Marketing Secrets Podcast. I got something cool to share with you today.
So the big question is this: how are entrepreneurs like us, who didn't cheat and take on venture capital, who are spending money from our own pockets, how do we market in a way that lets us get our products and our services and the things that we believe in out to the world and yet still remain profitable? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Russell Brunson, and welcome to Marketing Secrets.
Hey, everyone. All right, so first off, I want to share something that's a little different than normal. We've been promoting Funnel Hacking Live. We're getting close to selling on a ticket, so I thought it'd be fun to do Facebook Lives with all different speakers. And so today I did 2 Facebook Lives. One was with Alex and Alex Hermosi, and then Myron Golden, who are like amazing people. And then tonight I did one with Kaylin Poland and also with Natalie Hodson. And it's just been really fun to talk to the speakers and get them excited about what they're talking about and get everyone else excited as well. And during one of the Facebook Lives today, we had a really cool thing kind of came out of it. So it's Alex Hermosi. Some of you guys may know Alex because he's spoken. This is the second Funnel Hacking Live he's spoken at. Him and his wife are going to be speaking at this one. But what's interesting is at the end of it, I asked like, why do you think people should come to Funnel Hacking Live? And he was just like, he said, I think it's like 3 or 4 years ago he went to an event. It wasn't my event. It was Traffic and Conversion, actually, Ryan Dice's event. And he was at the event, and I had a chance. I was speaking at the event. And he told me the story later, so I'm kind of filling the backstory. He didn't talk about this today, but filling in some of the backstory for you guys so it makes sense. At this event, I had an hour to speak, and they wouldn't let me pitch anything, which is like painful for me as someone who loves to sell things because I feel like selling is how we actually change people's lives. And so I get on stage, and I do my entire Funnel Hacks presentation, and I get to like where I transition to my close, and I'm like, well, that's all I got. See you guys. And I had to end. And what I didn't know at the time was Alex was sitting out there in the audience. And Alex at the time had 1 or 2 gyms, and he was doing all right, but not loving it. And he told me, he's like, I was sitting in the audience, and he was just like, I want to do that. Whatever he just talked about, I want to do that. But I didn't sell anything, so we couldn't buy anything. And said that kind of just, it ended. The event happens, and he went back home. And he said it was, I can't remember exactly, 6 months, a year later, something like that. He was sitting there, and he was at a time when he was just not super excited with what he was doing, and he was like, that dude I heard speak at TNC, what was his name again, Russell Brunson, and he didn't know, he never bought any of my products and my services, and he just Googled like Russell Brunson coaching or something like that. He's like, maybe I can hire him to be a coach or something, I don't know. So he Googled that, and he found my Inner Circle page, applied for Inner Circle, signed up for it, and it was funny because I had my very first call with him. On the first call, he told me he's got these 2 or 3 gyms, and Alex, if you talk to him, super charismatic. Like, the dude's done like 5,000 one-on-one face-to-face sales in his lifetime. He's just a great salesperson. But I'm doing this call with him. When people join the Inner Circle, I call it a decade in a day. So I try to cram a decade of my life into a day with them, and I want to like shortcut their success. And so I have like an hour-long call with him. And so I'm doing this call, and he tells me on the call, he's like, my goal is if I can make if I can make 20 grand a month online, like that would dramatically change my life. And I kind of started, I feel bad, but I started laughing at him. And he's like, what? I'm like, dude, 20 grand a month? Like, you have, like, I can, like, just hearing him talk, I was like, you have so, like, you're like, your skill is so high. And I was like, you're in like a level 2 or 3 opportunity with like a level 10 skills. Like, if we just shift some things, like 20 grand, like, okay, we'll try to do that like tomorrow, and then let's like increase from there. And it was fun because on today's funnel or Facebook Live, he was talking about business right now. They're doing, it's like $1.5 million a month recurring off this business they launched 8 months ago. Like, it's crazy. They're trying to hit the 8-figure club before Funnel Hacking Live. So it basically means they made $10 million in like 7.5, 8 months. And it's interesting. And so I share that because, first off, it's inspiring. Second off, it's always fun to tease Alex about his huge goals he had initially. But most importantly, I want to share this for you guys. Because how many times do we go and we do things that on the outside don't seem fruitful, right? Like I spoke at TNC. I spoke in front of these people. I shared my message. I didn't get to sell anything. It ended, and then it's like you leave. And like I don't know if that helped. Or how many times do we do a Facebook Live and you get like 30 people that see it, or you do a YouTube video and you get like 120 people to watch it. And you look at those things, sometimes we look at those stats and we see the other videos that get like 1 million views and things like that. And we see ours like, only 120 people saw that. Like, man, what a waste of time. I shouldn't have been doing that. I should have been focusing on something else. But what we don't realize is that was 120 people that heard your message. And who knows who those people are? Like, one of them could have been the Alex Hermosi, who was sitting in the audience. He heard your message. It resonated with him, didn't do anything. And then a year later, like in a time when he's probably not happy, not like completely fulfilled, is like, what was that dude again? What's his name? And they start Googling you and they find you. And then fast forward a little bit, they're doing $10 million in sales, right? Like, think about that for your business. Like, how many times did you do a Facebook Live and you feel bummed because you didn't reach enough people? But like, those little numbers, like one person, two people, 20, 50, 100, like those are people. Like I'm in my inner circle room right now, like this holds, I think, about 75 seats for those who are seeing the video version, 75 seats. That's 75 people, right? When I do my inner circle, 75 people here, like 75 people, like that's a lot of people, right? Like, and everyone for me in this room paid 25 grand to be there, like it's a lot of money, right? As well, but it's 75 people. And if I'm sharing my message in this group, I'm not depressed. I'm like, oh, only 75 people heard it. I'm like, 75 people heard it. Each of these people are going to go and they're going to transform the world with it because it's like so cool. And so I don't want you guys getting discouraged when you do a video or a Facebook Live or a podcast and only 100 people heard it. Realize that like you're planting seeds. You're doing these things out there, and you never know who's gonna hear it and resonate with it. And it might not be immediately, but like Alex, a year later, because something I said a year at an event, and I didn't meet him there, I didn't bump into him, I did my thing and I left. I didn't know if it helped, and a year later, it was the seed that we planted that got him to Google the name, make the phone call, get in the program, and not only make this money for him, like look how many people's lives he's affecting. And so I just wanted to share that because it was for me like one of those round robin things where it came back to the beginning. It's just like, that is cool. I'm so glad I went to TNC and I spoke and didn't sell anything, didn't make any money. Like, it's something that seemed like kind of a waste of time afterwards. I'm so glad I did it. Something similar happened last year. I went to Affiliate Summit. In fact, I feel bad. I did a podcast talking about how like their business model was the worst business model I've ever seen. And I still kind of stand behind that, but I feel kind of bad about it, right? Because anyway, you can rewind that podcast, listen to it. But what's interesting is I don't usually go to speak at events unless there's like a minimum of 1,000 people in the room, or else it's just not worth time. Like next week we're speaking, or next month we're speaking at Grant Cardone's event, which is supposed to have like 8,500 people out. Like for me to justify my time, like it's tough, right? But Affiliate Summit was one of the first events I ever went to, so I was like, I want to go and speak, and I get to this event, and they have like guards at the door, and like the attendees have to pay extra to actually come into your room. So I'm doing my keynote speech in this room, and there's like 15 people, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I spent all this, the time and the money, someone asked for one-on-one consulting today, and I quoted him at 250 grand a day, because that's like what it would take for me to actually break away a day from my office to be able to do it. So it's like I spent the travel time there, the time there, and the time back. Like if I was to build that out, we're looking at $500,000 or more to do that, and I'm sitting in a room with 15 people, and I was just like angry because I'm like, dude, like, are you serious? 15 people? And so I shared my message, and then it got done, and once people came and shook my hand, and then I left, went out to eat with my team that was there, and then flew home kind of like annoyed that I wasted my time at this event. But what I didn't realize was sitting in that event was someone who's become a dear friend. Her name's Allison Prince. And Allison was at this event, and she's like, and I didn't know this till like 2 weeks later. She calls our office, and she's like, I was at Affiliate Summit. I heard Russell speak. He was the only speaker on stage who wasn't drunk. And she's like, I resonate with that, someone who doesn't drink. And because of that, I want to join the coaching program. And this was literally 2 days before the very first FAT event we ever did. And Derek's on the phone like, okay, I think and she has three multi-million-dollar businesses, so she's like killing it, but she wanted to learn like this side of the business. We do funnels and stuff. And so she signed up, and then she jumped in her car and drove here and showed up the morning of the event. And I was like, I don't know who I knew everyone else who was coming because we just invited inner circle members. I'm like, I don't know who you are. She's like, I just joined yesterday. She's like, I was at Affiliate Summit last week. You were the only speaker who wasn't drunk, and so that's why I'm here now. And I was like, whoa, like. And then last night, I don't have my phone here with me. Dang it. Last night, she messaged me, and it's been 8 months. No, 9 months. No, 10 months. 10 after 11, something like that. Yeah, because it was February that she came. So and now we're in January, so it's been 11 months. And she messaged me yesterday. She said, guess what, Russell? I said, what? And she said, I just sold my 1,000th course. And she sells this course for $1,000, made she made $1 million. She said, this is the fastest I've ever gone from $0 to $1 million in any of my companies ever. She's like, I just joined the 2 Comma Club. She's freaking out. And by the way, Allison's speaking up on Hawking Live. And I heard that, and I was just thinking, I'm like, man, so grateful I went to Affiliate Summit. Because if I wouldn't have, Allison, one of those 15 people who was sitting in the room, wouldn't have heard my message. She wouldn't have came. And I look at the lives she's transforming now because of it. So I just want to show it to you. I don't know where to go with that other than keep doing what you're doing, even if it feels like it's not making an impact at the time. Even if you feel like I'm in a room, like 15 people saw that video, that presentation I gave, right? 15 people saw it, but Allison saw it. And because of that, it's transformed her life, and it's transformed 1,000 of her customers' lives now. It's going to continue that moving forward. And she's speaking for Unlocking Lives. So those of you guys who are coming, she's going to have a chance to transform your life as well. Alex and Layla are going to be there. It's going to, like, they're going to transform your life. Like, it's just a really cool thing. So don't get bummed out if nobody seems like they're listening right now. It doesn't matter. You're sowing seeds. You're doing what you love. You're putting your message out there, and just keep doing it. Do it with faith, knowing that if you plant enough seeds, the right people will come back. Your sheep will hear your voice, and they will come to you. Like that's a scriptural, doctrinal principle that Christ taught, and it's the same thing for you. Like, put your message out there, and your sheep will hear your voice, and they will come to you. And then you have that impact on them that you can have, and that's what's so exciting. So don't stop. Keep publishing. Keep putting it out there, even if it feels like no one's listening, because you never know who is actually listening. So with that said, I'm going back in. We're about to launch a funnel. I got to go. I just thought the lights look cool on the video and wanted to share that with you guys. So appreciate you all. Have an amazing day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye. And yes, that is Batman for those who are watching in the background.
Would you like to see behind the scenes of what we're actually doing each day to grow our company? If so, then go subscribe to our free behind the scenes reality TV show at www.funnelhacker.tv.